Come have a nice day. Today is Thursday, 23rd of May 2024. This day is celebrated as Buddha Purnima. Banks across the country will remain shut on the occasion of the Buddha Purnima on May 23. Take a look at the top events of the day below. All the banks across the states will remain closed today, May 23, on account of Buddha Purnima, an annual celebration observed on the first full moon of the Hindu calendar month Vaisakha. From the history point of view, Maharani Gayatri Devi's birth on May 23, 1990 introduced a figure who would become an emblem of grace and modernity in India. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, The Hindu states that debunked accounts of Hamas sexual crimes fuel debates over the Israelis war. Some allege that accounts of sexual assault were purposely concocted. Zaka officials and other dispute that regardless AP's examination of Zaka's handling of the now debunked story shows how information can be clouded and distorted in the chaos of the conflict. Israel points to sexual violence to highlight what it says is Hamas's savage and to justify its wartime goal of neutralizing any repeated threat coming from the Gaza. In turn, critics have seized on the debunked accounts to allege that the Israeli government has distorted the facts to prosecute the war. Chaim Otmazgin had tended to dozens of shot, burned on or mutilated bodies before he reached the home that would put him at the center of the global clash. Working in kibbutz that was ravaged by Hamas October 7 attack, Mr. Otamazkin, a volunteer commander with the Zaka and Israeli search and rescue operation, saw the body of a teenager shot dead and separated from her family in a different room. Her pants had been pulled down below her waist. He thought that was evidence of the sexual violence. The Hindu newspaper states that Jamia Millia Islamia appoints Muhammad Shakil as officiating VC hours after a High Court's order. Students coming out from the campus of the Jamia Millia Islamia in New Delhi. The High Court questioned the appointment of Mr. Hussain as the Pro-Vice Chancellor and subsequently as officiating Vice Chancellor of Jamia Millia Islamia, holding that appointments were not made in the conformity with the relevant statute. Jamia Millia Islamia on May 22nd appointed Muhammad Shakil as the officiating Vice Chancellor hours after the Delhi High Court questioned the appointment of the Iqbal Hussain and directed the university to make a fresh appointment within 1 week. The High Court questioned the appointment of Mr. Hussain as the Pro-Vice Chancellor and subsequently as officiating Vice Chancellor of the Jamia Millia Islamia, holding that the appointments were not made in the conformity the relevant statute. The newspaper states that in letters of Modi, Jaishankar Palestine Prime Minister blames Israeli forces for death of a former Indian Army officer in Gaza. Family members and security personnel pay their last respects to the mortal remains of Colonel retired Vaibhav Anil Kale, a former Indian Army officer who was killed in the Gaza while working with the United Nations during his last rites in Pune on May 17, 2024. Palestine Prime Minister Mohammed Mustafa calls for immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The Israeli Defense Forces IDF were responsible for the death of the former Indian Army officer Colonel Vaibhav Anil Kale in Gaza last week. Palestine Prime Minister Mohammed Mustafa said in letters affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. In the letters dated in May 16, Mr. Mustafa called for an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza to save lives and end the bloodshed that he described as a war of genocide. The Hindu newspaper also states that Dhankar in Tehran, India shows solidarity with the Iran. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar pays tributes to Iran late President Saeed Ibrahim Raisi, late Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian, and other Iranian officials who died in a chopper crash in Tehran on May 22, 2024. On Tuesday, India held a day of official mourning for Ibrahim Raisi. New Delhi remembers contributions of the late Iranian President and Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian in the strengthening ties with India. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar was in Tehran on May 22nd to participate in the memorial services for Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi and Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian, both of whom were among 9 officials and crew killed on a helicopter crash on Sunday, a special gesture by New Delhi to show solidarity with Iran amidst the loss of its key leaders. While the sudden change in leadership is unlikely to mean any major shift in the Indian-Iran relations, it could slow down the pace of the ties, given the particular role both Mr. Raisi and Mr. Abdullahian played in strengthening bilateral relations leading up to the signing of the 10-year contract for Chabhar port just a week prior to the crash. Now, going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that Calcutta High Court cancels OBC certificates for 77 groups of Mamata rejects order. The judgment spoke a political controversy, with the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee saying that she won't accept the ruling, and the Union Home Minister Amit Shah accusing the Bengal government of appeasement. The Calcutta High Court on Wednesday scrapped out the backward classes OBC certificates awarded to 77 communities since 2010 on overwhelming majority of the Muslims and called the classification process illegal, marking a significant verdict that came as a blow to the ruling Trinamool Congress in the middle of ongoing general elections. His name also states that PUCL teams to rebut police on Bijapur encounter says it was an extrajudicial killing. At least 103 Moslems have been killed until May 10 this year. Raipur, a team of People's Union for Civilian Liberties PUCL visited the Pedia village in Chhattisgarh's Bijapur district, where 12 alleged Moslems were killed on the May 10 and claimed in its report that the villagers clearly stated that it was by no means an encounter, as claimed by the police, but a clear case of extrajudicial killings by the security forces. Hindustan Times also states that Bangladesh lawmaker who went missing in Calcutta murdered and 2 nations pro-beginners. A Bangladeshi parliamentarian who traveled to West Bengal for medical treatment and went missing from the northern fringes of Calcutta last week was murdered, authorities in both countries said on Wednesday. Hindustan Times also states that Asia stocks weaken on the patient approach to rate cuts. Asia stocks weaken on the patient approach to rate cuts. Elsewhere in Asia, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index ran into the profit-taking and till 1.5% after having the touchdown over 9-month high at the start of the week. China's Blue Chip Index is 0.3%. Gold dipped 0.25% into the $2,372.28 and an ounce, away from its record high of $2,449.89 hit on the Monday, as the prospect of the higher for longer United States rates took some shine off the yellow mantle. Oil prices likewise fell, with the Brent crude down 0.82% to the 81.23 barrel dollar, while United States crude edged 0.9% lower to $76.87 per barrel. From the business point of view, Tata Group to buy Disney stake in Tata Play at a $1 billion valuation report. Walt Disney co-struck at a deal to sell its minority stake in Tata Play to Tata Group. Bloomberg reported, citing people in the know, the sale will allow the United States media again to focus on the merger of its Indian unit with the Mukesh Ambani's media arm. The report added that the transaction valued Tata Play Limited at about $1 billion. Nifty 50 to hit 150,000 in this much time. Motilal Oswal's Ramedo Agarwal says. A man looks at a screen across the road displaying a Sensex on the facade of the Bombay Stock Exchange building in the Mumbai. Nifty 50 may reach 1.5 lakh in the next 15-17 years, and Sensex could hit 1,50,000 in the next 5-6 years. Although this would not be without the corrections, Ramedio Agarwal, as investor and the chairman of the Motilal Oswal Group, said in an interaction with the CNBC Awaz, he said to make money in the stock market, you need a vision, courage, and the patience. Patience is the most important factor, must be observed during the times of the stress. From the world news, including the families of the Israeli hostages, released a video of female soldiers being captured by Hamas. Taiwan has dispatched forces to areas around the East Island after China starts punishment drills. Situation in Bishkek has turned to a normal. Indian embassy. Time to choose Rishi Sunak calls United Kingdom national election for July 4. United Kingdom opposition Labour Party leader Starmer says, "Is the time for change. Struggling economy awaits winner of a British election." Going towards the science and tech, Amazon artificial intelligence startup Hugging Face pair to use Amazon chips. On Wednesday, Amazon and Hugging Face said that they had praised up Amazon.com's code unit on Wednesday said it has partnered with the artificial intelligence startup Hugging Face. Amazon.com cloud unit on Wednesday said it has partnered with the artificial intelligence startup Hugging Face to make it easier to run thousands of artificial intelligence models on Amazon's custom computing chips. Valued at $5 billion, Hugging Face has become a central hub of our artificial intelligence researchers and developers to share chatbots and other artificial intelligence software, and is backed by Amazon, Alphabet, Google, and NVIDIA, among others. It is the main place that developers go to obtain and tinker with the open source of artificial intelligence models such as Meta Platforms Llama 3. NVIDIA's profit soars, underscoring its dominance in the chips for artificial intelligence. The company reported earnings per share adjusted to exclude a one-time item of $6.12, well above the $5.6. NVIDIA overshot Wall Street estimates as its quarterly profits skyrocketed, bolstered by the chip-making dominance that has made the company an icon of the artificial intelligence boom. NVIDIA on Wednesday overshot Wall Street estimates as its profit skyrocketed, bolstered by the chip-making dominance that has made the company an icon of the artificial intelligence boom. Its net income rose more than a sevenfold compared to the earlier jump to $4.88 billion in the first quarter that ended April 28 from $2.04 billion a year earlier. Revenue more than tripled, rising to $26.04 billion from $7.19 billion in the previous year. CMFRI survey shows rich diversity of marine species along the Kerala coast. CMFRI, a scientist surveying fish landing on Tuesday. Study held at 26 major fisheries harbors as a part of the International Day for Biological Diversity records an impressive 468 species. A central marine fishery is Research Institute CMFRI survey on International Day of Biological Diversity on at 26 major fisheries harbors along the Kerala coast recorded an impressive 468 species, underscoring the rich diversity of the state's marine ecosystem. The one-day rapid survey was conducted simultaneously with the support of 55 experts. The experts were drawn from the Marine Biodiversity and Environment Management Division of the CMFRI. The survey covered the coast between the Kasaragod in the north and the Vizinjam in the south. SpaceX recorded the maximum satellite launches with the 31 missions between the January and the April report. SpaceX has posted the biggest number of the orbital launch for the first quarter of this year from January to April, according to the quarterly report. SpaceX outpaced other space providers in terms of the number of spacecraft was launched with the 525 successful missions. The reported by Price Tech revealed SpaceX has posted the biggest number of the orbital launches for the first quarter of this year from the January to April, according to the quarterly reported by the Price Tech. Elon Musk's company took the first spot with the 31 successful missions, while the state-owned China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation stood in the second position with the 9 orbital launches. Russia's federal space agency Roscosmos took the third spot with the 5 missions. India's ISRO shared the 5th position with the Mitsubishi and the Chinese government rocket companies X Space with the 2 successful missions each. At last, there is a famous quotation said by Subhash Chandra Bose, whose birth anniversary is 23rd of January 1897. Up to 18 August 1945, was an Indian nationalist whose defense of the British authority of the India made him a hero among the many Indians. But his wartime alliance with the Nazi Germany and the Imperial Japan left a legacy vexed by the authoritarianism, anti-Semitism, and military failure. The honorific Netaji Bengali respected leader was first applied to Bose in the Germany in the early 1942 by the Indian soldiers of the Indici Legion and by the German and the Indian officials in the Special Bureau of the India in Berlin. It is now used throughout the India. Subhash Chandra Bose says a famous quotation. He says that life loses half its interest if there is no struggle, if there are no risks to be taken. Okay, thank you.